Yo, 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 top of the morning to you. Happy Friday, coffee day. Coming at you with the story from the book of Acts. Thought you guys might like it and appreciate it. I recorded the story yesterday, wanted to send it out to you when I was in my place of prayer down by the river. But for some reason, I had a hiccup and it glitched and deleted it. So anyway, here we are. But I wanted to really share that, and especially by the river, because in Acts chapter 16, Paul's second missionary journey, I want to read something to you. I thought it was kind of fun in the fact that Paul was going to a place of prayer with Silas and with others, and along the way he meets somebody. So Paul's going in verse 16, to a place of prayer. Where is that place of prayer for you? Okay, so for Paul and many others, it was going outside the city. And here, if we jump back to verse 13, do you like how I did that? Verse 13. On the Sabbath, we went outside the city gate to the river, where we expected to find a place of prayer. There was expectation that going outside the city, there's going to be a group of people gathering at the river, and they were going to be praying and singing and worshiping God. Okay, or just searching, possibly too. Okay, so there's Paul, there's Silas, there's others, Luke, and there they are going outside the city gate, and they have this female they are greeted with that had a spirit by which she predicted the future. She earned a great deal of money for this, etc., etc. She followed Paul and the rest of us shouting. So here's the interesting part that I wanted to bring to your attention. She followed them. They're headed to a place of prayer. You ever been headed to church in the morning on Sunday morning, and all, Hector, breaks loose, and, the family's fighting, the kids aren't cooperating, the kids won't get dressed, the breakfast burns, and etc. All these things take place. And it's frustrating to where you almost abandon ship, right? You're almost like, forget it. We're not doing it. Or then you get to church and the kids don't want to go into children's church, for whatever reason, or you're just preoccupied in your mind by things. There's temptation, there's thoughts and things that bombard you at that time. It's the enemy. Okay, but we have to test those spirits also, because listen to this in verse 17. Hear this little gal, she followed Paul and the rest of them, shouting, "These men are servants of the Most High God, who are telling you the way to be saved." So this girl that is got a spirit upon her is shouting truth, right? Is she shouting truth? I pause there because you might say, well, yeah, or you might say, no, never, because you know the context of the story. And the context is this woman has an impure spirit, right? So, but she is speaking truth. They are servants of the Most High God who are telling the way to be saved. So she kept this up for many days. So understand that the place of prayer wasn't just a hop, skip, and a jump. We're blessed. We can just walk down to the river. We can just walk to our, hop in our cars and cruise to that place. Or maybe it's in your home, whatever, wherever it's at. It's not important necessarily where it's at. It's important that you do it. But back in this time, they had to walk possibly for days. So here's this little gal following, nagging them, saying truths, right, to people, shouting these words, and Paul is getting annoyed. So it's okay to get annoyed by people. It's what you do with that. And pay attention to what Paul does. So Paul ends up for 2 days putting up with this shouting truth little gal. And then he turns around, though, and he does something. She kept this up for 2 days. Finally, Paul became so annoyed that he turned around and he said to the Spirit. There's a key factor today. We have to have a spirit of discernment. And although this gal that had this impure spirit was shouting truths, she was doing it for other reasons. She was doing it to commingle evil with good. And we can attest that that is happening in our world today. In politics, definitely happening there. In our homes, all around us, this is taking place. People are speaking truth. But just because it's truth doesn't mean the motive behind it is correct. And there's a timing that we need to turn around. And it's not about the individual. We need to practice love and respect, but it's about what is behind or what is possessed that individual. So notice Paul turns around and he rebukes the spirit and he tells that spirit, get out in Jesus' name, and the spirit leaves. You have that same power as a believer. Not everybody has that power, but as a believer in the gospel, in the truth, in Jesus Christ, okay, you have the power that Paul had. You just need to go to that place of prayer. You need to build yourself up. You're pretty darn important. Then you have the power to turn around. Don't rebuke the individual necessarily, but you rebuke what's behind the individual and watch what happens. At that moment, the spirit left her. But now things take place in her life, and which is kind of sad because she's not valued because she was there to make money for people, right? But here's a funny thing. So Paul, as they are headed to this place, they brought them now the people, they were gone, and they seized Paul and Silas because they messed up their money maker. They cast out that spirit. And now the crowd joins in and attacks Paul and Silas. Throws them in prison. That's for another day. So my thing's fast going backwards, full circle. Coming back to it is find your place of prayer. I love the river. I love water. And so that is kind of my, my place of connection to God and my prayer time. But sometimes, I find it right here at this kitchen table where I get to talk to you guys and hopefully share some inspiration with that. But test the spirits. Just because it is the truth, find out what the motive behind the truth is. Exercise your spirit power. If you are a believer in the gospel of Jesus Christ, that is the gospel, the story, the power of Jesus Christ and what he came and did for you, then you have the power of discernment. You have the power to recognize what is truth, but they do not mingle. They do not mingle. Truth and evil, Christ and evil do not mingle. Okay, so two separate things. But anyway, enjoy. Hope that you get something out of that. That's Acts 16:16 starting there. Double back, to verse 13. But hope you are blessed with that. Have a great day. Peace out. Talk to you soon.